Hello and welcome to a new episode of Another Angle. My name is Abby and I'm on a mission to help our listeners learn about ways on how to improve their health, their fitness, and their overall well-being. We will be joined by guests and specialists from sectors like medicine, nutrition, and fitness who will be bringing you the latest advice and the latest trends in what's happening in today's world. Initially, we've been founded to be a DNA testing company. We have been seed funded by NHS England, so they are currently a stakeholder in our business through the West Midlands Academic Health Science Network. They seed funded us to develop a platform that enables us to connect users or patients with specialists who can review their results and provide them with medical assessments and more context onto their test results by taking into consideration their environmental factors and their lifestyle, so GPS3 and Q-risk type of information, and to provide them with the action points on what to do next. From there, we branched out into fitness and we opened up our platform for personal trainers. And now we will be releasing a test for mental health medications. So a DNA test to test the pharmacogenetic profile of patients for mental health medications. And yeah, due to the pandemic, we now launched a test for COVID-19.
I've seen you on Sky News. I've seen yourself on Sky News as well. DNA testing, but it's great what you're doing. It's fantastic. Well done. I think now is a prime time to launch these products and services. As we know, everything's going online now. Everything's going remotely. Even GP consultations are now being done remotely.
Yeah. The thing about digital health and health tech is not something new, it's just that we've only seen the quite massive push to take us into that future space, if you wish, due to the pandemic. It became a necessity rather than just an optional thing. If you like to take your consultation on the phone or do you want to have it on your mobile app and so on. And due to the platform that we've developed, we've seen this of a huge interest to a lot of clinics that we currently work with, because these clinicians would want to provide that consultation online. So yeah, it's been quite a busy period of time, that's for sure. And yeah, here we are speaking with you. So how are you? How's things going at your end?
Spending time with the family. I've been very busy at work, doing lots of weekends and long 12.5 hour shifts, working predominantly on a designated COVID ward and working in A&E as well as a medical registrar. So it's been very busy for me, and looking forward to having some time off, some good skincare because my face is scarred and cut from everything.
I can imagine.
And time to sleep, time to recuperate, time to spend time with my son and my wife.
So you are NHS clinical entrepreneur as well.
Yeah, that's right.
So actually, let's start from here. So who is Dr. Asif Munaf?
Yes, so Dr. Asif Munaf works as a sports medicine registrar working in the East Midlands, but I've been redeployed to work in acute medicine over the last few weeks, dealing with COVID patients. But my interests beyond medicine lie in, well, my entrepreneurial interests lie in wellness and nutrition. So I've taken a keen interest in nutrition for the last 6-7 years. I developed a smoothie product in 2016, which appeared on Dragon's Den, BBC Two Dragon's Den. That was 2016, having a meal replacement smoothie to give to essentially patients on the ward as a replacement for Fortisip's. And then since then, going into developing an ice cream for patients, looking at high calorie, high protein intake patients post-operatively. And that's where the clinical entrepreneur program comes in. So I was successful in getting a place on the program because of the idea I proposed, which was the high protein ice cream. So I've always been involved in nutrition and wellness. I'm also qualified level 3 personal trainer as well. So I take a keen interest in wellness and overall well-being. So that's me in a nutshell.
Fantastic. So you are the founder of Endorance, right?
Yeah.
So Endorance is your baby, right? It's the company that you have been working on. How many years you've been working on this business?
That was just last year. So Endorance is a pretty recent venture for me. It's similar to what you do, but it's more blood testing in terms of checking hormone profiles, checking full blood counts, and people. We get a lot of bodybuilders and people who are taking steroids, people who are athletes. They want their vitamin B and D checking. They want their testosterone and full hormone profile checking. So we do a lot of blood testing. We also do IV vitamin therapy as well. So like a lot of companies in London, we do vitamin therapy as well. So usually vitamin B and vitamin C. We give us drips. We also do people who want hydration, post kind of event hydration, etc. So we do a lot of IV therapy as well. So it's a combined kind of business of blood testing and IV therapy.
So, what made you move from the smoothie product into this? So, how did that transition happen? Because you, as you mentioned, you were in series 15 of Dragon's Den. So how did that experience was like for you? How did the smoothie product evolve into what you're doing right now?
It's kind of linked. So smoothie product was a whole meal replacement. So my whole aim with the product was to provide patients and then after that the public with whole meal replacements. So adequate macronutrient contents with the smoothie. So they ticked all the boxes with regard to fat, protein, and carbohydrates.
Sorry, so is it something similar to Huel?
Yes, Huel certainly. Huel,
Yeah,
Soylent,
yeah.
another one, Soylent in America. So Huel's very similar, certainly. So actually, when I was doing the smoothies back in 2016, Huel and some of the other companies like Baxter, who do TPN, total parenteral nutrition for patients in hospital, they were similar kind of products at the time. I transitioned from that to IV vitamin therapy, which for me is a similar kind of field because I'm looking at nutrient deficiencies in a lot of our athletes as well. So a lot of them are vitamin D deficient, vitamin C and vitamin B as well. So I'm covering that, covering all the bases with the IV vitamin therapy.
Fantastic, fantastic stuff. I can see that your profile is like you are a public speaker as well, and you have written opinion pieces on The Guardian and the BMG. Is it all about wellness and nutrition? Has it always been the core focus of your research?
Not really, no. So with regard to opinion pieces, it's essentially been about aspirations and getting children into medical school. So I do a lot. I've done speaking on nutrition as well, but mainly my outside interest revolves around getting people or state school children into medical school. So helping them with their applications, with their interviews, etc. So speaking on that regard.
Is it coming from a personal experience? Because I can see from your name, it has some Arabic origins. Is it?
Oh yeah, it's Pakistani. So yeah, originally,
Ah, okay.
originally Arabic origins. Obviously, most Pakistani names
Yes.
originally from Arab, but yes, Pakistani. But for me, it was just the struggles of getting into medical school. Luckily, I managed first time around, but there were so many things out there which I didn't know about. So how to dress, how to speak, how to do the interviews, how to do the entrance exams as well. So for me, I like to give back to the people who would benefit from that.
Which are equally important to all the other tests and UKCAT and all these other things. Absolutely, fantastic. So you did your studies, you graduated, you did your clinical entrepreneur program, and you currently hold a master's in public health. So why public health?
Well, I've always been interested in nutrition and obesity, as you know from the smoothie and from Endurance. So obesity, population health, as we know now with the COVID-19 outbreak, population health and public health are so important in terms of epidemiology, keeping people
Yeah.
socially distant. So it's vital at the moment. So my interest has always been about how to, because I think there was a very good quote from a cardiologist in the 50s saying, "I no sorry from a heart transplant surgeon saying I've probably saved 200 lives." But if I did public health, I could have saved 200 million lives. And it's that approach of taking a backward step, looking at the bigger picture, which has always interested me.
And a wider impact, yeah, absolutely. So you're training for to be a level 3 accredited personal trainer. This came out of your passion, right, for fitness and nutrition.
Absolutely. So I finished my level three actually 2016. So I'm a qualified level three now, looking to go to level four, which is looking at special groups of pregnant ladies, elderly diabetic patients as well. So that's level four. So yeah, that goes into my interest of kind of nutrition because in
Yeah.
PPT, you also do plans for people's food plans as well. So meal plans for your clients. So it's my interest in nutrition and just general well-being and kind of health and fitness.
So it's really rare, let's say. It's now becoming more common to see those doctorpreneurs who are also interested in. So, doctorpreneurs is basically doctors who are having interest in entrepreneurship and having that, combining that with an interest in fitness in particular and nutrition. So, where did that come from? Why fitness? Is it coming from like a previous, have you always been an athletic, or is it something that you just picked up recently because of some incident that happened to you? Or
I think being athletic or being fit generally started at university. I went to the University of York, which is a quite a nice university with lots of tradition with rowing and cricket and football. So we went there and I started playing sports, going to the gym, got in good shape, lost a bit of weight, put on some muscles, just generally got fitter and fitter. And I think it started from there. This was 2006, so 14 years ago now. And I think since then I've really kept it going since then.
Great. So now that you have moved like from just training on your own into actually moving into the industry itself, how are you finding the industry of fitness?
The industry of fitness is booming. It's a huge industry. People are growing day by day. One thing I've noticed now, I think a lot of personal trainers are going online. So offline PTs, i.e., those that work in the gyms, obviously they've been redundant now for the last 2 months or 6 weeks rather. So it's very important to have an online business. For me, fitness is moving online now. I've spoken to a few fitness instructors and personal trainers who are now doing everything via the phone. They've got 5 or 6 clients a week. They're giving them meal plans, looking at their weight targets, and just giving them workout plans for the whole week. And then they're meeting them every week via Zoom or via Skype, and then going through their progress with them. So I think a lot of fitness is moving online now. So that's the biggest trend for me in 2020.
And is that something that you're looking to move into yourself?
Absolutely, yeah. So I think once this COVID pandemic slowly starts to settle, then certainly something I'll look to go into myself over the next kind of few months. I think you have to, as we know with the COVID-19, it's proven that if you don't have an online presence, you will go bust very quickly.
Now tell us a little bit more about your experience with Dragon Den. Like it's something that you don't see many people can share with you. So how did that come about? How did you apply? How did it go?
Like Dragon's Den, it seems so long ago now.
Yeah.
So 2016 I applied, 2017 I got on the program, and I think 2018 they showed it. But if you look at YouTube, it's got almost 500,000 views now, so it's been very well viewed on YouTube. So the experience started in November 2016 when I applied. So I had the idea for the smoothies. I applied via an online application form. Didn't hear anything for 2 months. Then I got a phone call in January whilst I was working as a core medical trainee. CMT1, and then I got a phone call saying we'd love to hear more about your product. So I said yes, this is my product, this is the rationale behind it, etc., etc. Then they invited me for a Skype interview, which I did. I passed that stage, and then I went actually to Manchester where the auditions were held at Media City in Salford, and then they really enjoyed my pitch. They really liked the product, they liked the story behind it, and then they invited me to the audition itself in front of the Dragon. And so that was a few months later, and then it is very daunting. You have to wake up early in the morning. They give you a hotel. They can't tell you the location of where the audition will take place. They wake you up in the morning. They put makeup on you at 5 in the morning. They drive you to an undisclosed location where the filming takes place. You have a couple of rehearsals in terms of walking and saying your opening lines. But in terms of the actual pitch itself, when you enter the den, you have to open the curtain over your products and then speak to the dragons. You only get one chance at that, and that's very nerve wracking. But I had prepared many months in advance for that, and I think like in medicine, preparation is key. Whether you've got an exam in medicine, whether you're seeing a patient and you're presenting to the morning on the morning ward round, you have to prepare your notes. So preparing for me really helped me give a nice pitch.
And how did the pitch go? How is the questions afterwards? Yeah.
Very tough. As you can imagine, five dragons, all multimillionaires, very difficult to please.
Yeah.
They nitpick every small little aspect of your business. So, Crash, it was tough. I was sweating, I was nervous, but I thought in the end it went well, and I thought I generally held my own. And I think if you look at the views and the comments, people said I did quite well, so I was quite pleased with that.
So that's something that you would keep for the rest of your life for sure. It's an experience that would you do it again for the new business?
Yes, I'll certainly do it again. Yes, absolutely. So I've considered doing it for the good business. Although if you look at Dragon's Den from maybe 4 weeks ago, there was an IV vitamin therapy business on there. If you saw the they weren't very well pleased with that. So maybe not with the perhaps not with the IV testing, but certainly with the blood testing, it's something which I could perhaps go on in the future.
I will tell you a secret actually. I don't think this is something that I have ever told anyone in my life, literally.
I'm very honoured you're sharing with me.
I'm someone that have never really thought in my life that I would start a business. If you were to meet me like let's say 10 years ago or like even 5 years ago, I would have never thought about starting my own business, but I think it was literally 5 years ago when I've came across Dragons Den on YouTube, and it was a completely new concept for me, like back home, like I come from Saudi Arabia, and back home we don't have Dragons Den, we don't have Shark Tank, we don't have any of those things. And it was a whole new concept to me, and I was like fascinated. I was literally fascinated by what was going on and how this whole thing is real. People just pitching ideas, and they're getting injections of capital for them to build these ideas and so on. And I was like, these are what they call entrepreneurs, you know. And I think Dragons Den is the thing that set my mind into something that called entrepreneurship and starting your own business, I guess. Because before that, I've never thought about starting a business. You know, it wasn't something that I was even considering myself.
That's good. I'm glad to know because if the people you meet on the day are very inspiring. A lot of them have noble jobs,
Yeah.
lawyers, accountants, teachers, and they've got a side business in the evening, and it's very inspiring the hard work they put into it. So it's good. I'm glad it inspired you. You should apply. I think you'll do very well.
Believe it or not, I have been approached by Dragons Den to pitch. I have been approached by Dragons Den actually some time ago. Actually, I think it's been 3 years ago, and I opted to go crowdfunding.
Dragons Den. The good thing about Dragons Den, it will give you publicity. It will it will
It
it
does.
will give you free PR for your company. What you can do
Yeah.
on national television in front of 2 million people will is priceless. No PR company can do that for you.
Definitely, that coverage is phenomenal, and as you said, it's a once in a lifetime type of experience, unless you want to do it multiple times. So tell me about your new company, Endurance. It's very interesting to see that how close it is to what we currently do at Right Angled. So how did you come up with the idea, and how did you develop your products, and who are your? So you mentioned your audiences or your target market is very much the athletes and the bodybuilders. So tell me a little bit more about Endurance.
So endurance, obviously, it comes from the name endurance, meaning lasting longer or any longevity in stamina. So endurance, but I put it over there, so it's endurance, meaning endocrine. So it's essentially lasting longer through science. So we have endocrinologist as well. One of my friends on board, he's one of the advisory panel. He's a consultant endocrinologist working in the Midlands. So some of the reports he sees as well. So we essentially optimize people's performance via their hormones. So testosterone, LH, FSH. I'm not sure. You're a medic, aren't you? You're a doctor, aren't you?
I did study medicine, but I didn't like it at all.
Right.
I shifted into medical biotech and business management.
I didn't bore you with some of the names and acronyms, but anyway, so we optimize wellness and their performance and their endurance through endocrinology and hormone testings, and that's why the name came about. So I'm trying to essentially make it an online business, home fingerprint testing business. As you know, there are so many companies out there. Even today, I went to the headquarters of Medichecks based in Nottingham. This Thriver, there's so many companies out there that do home fingerprint testing as well. So it is a huge market, and it's a huge market dominated by a few names. So for me, I had to really find a USP, and my unique selling point was looking at athletes and looking at people who are interested in wellness and fitness.
It's really interesting that you mentioned this as well, because we are now looking into moving into that. So initially we were labeling or we were branding ourselves as just a DNA testing company until COVID-19 came along, and we were like, you know what? It's still a PCR test. We can still do that. We just have to repurpose the packaging and ship it. So that's what we did. Now, this experience have now opened our eyes that we could just be a diagnostic testing service provider. As a CQC registered company, we have the regulatory framework to operate as a healthcare provider. So we want to branch out into these finger prick blood tests. As someone that has been working in this market, how has it been like for you so far? How long you've had your test on the market, and how has it been like?
I always believe in lean startup, so spending very little capital and then testing the concept. So for me, I got a cheap website, £500. Most of my clients come via Instagram DMs. They send me DMs, and I message them, and then we get the blood testing kit sent out to them. I spent overall maybe about £3,000 on Endurance in terms of branding, in terms of website, etc., PR, marketing. So I believe in lean startup. So for me, the concept has worked. It's proven itself. So now for me, well, COVID happened. So the plan was in April to scale up really big, do some Facebook campaigns, get a proper website with a shopping cart, and then COVID happened. So maybe in a few months' time, God willing, I can make a proper website. So the concept is good. It's workable. People have proven it over the many years. For example, Medichecks, they started in 2002, almost 2 decades now. So fingerprint testing works, provided you've got a very good platform online platform, and companies like Thriver, they have a very good, very nice interface on the mobile phone where you can track your results as well. So it works as long as you make it nice and marketable. You make it very, sexy and make it very nice on the phone. People will buy your products, and people will keep coming back to you.
Where do you see Endurance over the next 5 years?
Where do I see Endurance? I see Endurance. I want it to be the biggest blood testing company in the UK, the home finger prick blood testing company in the UK. And that is a very big ambition because Medichecks, Thriver, obviously if you guys go into bloods as well, there's so many companies doing bloods that there's also Fourth Edge companies which are smaller than us who are doing blood testing. So blood testing is a big business. So I see Endurance as being the biggest, but obviously I have to work very hard to make sure it's the biggest. I have to find a USP and really run with that because blood testing, more and more people are getting blood tests done. So why would they come to me or you? They're probably going to go to Medichecks or Thriver. So you have to have a USP. So for me, it's working out a USP and then marketing and branding on that USP.
What are your thoughts about capital? How are you going to finance all your operations and your advertisement? Because as you know, it's going to come down to how well you market your product as well.
Certainly. So for me, as you know, Dragon's Den, I applied to get the capital investment. It didn't work out. That was for the smoothies anyway. But I've got the experience now of pitching, and I've got a business plan. So for me, it's all about going to the right investors. Obviously, with COVID now, things have stalled. So maybe once COVID is over, end of the year, once I've got a solid business plan, I can go to the record, the appropriate investors and pitch my product. So even now, I'm looking at business plans. I'm looking at getting my pitch right and either taking products off, putting products on. So when I go to pitch, hopefully by the end of this year, I've got a solid business.
Fantastic stuff. Really interesting. Really, really interesting. So, just to have an idea about your daily life now as a doctor in the NHS, how is it like? What is your daily routine like?
Daily life is waking up very early, offering my prayers, saying bye to my family, and then going to work 6:30 in the morning, getting there 7:30, 8 o'clock, doing the ward round, seeing patients in A&E. Nowadays, that's all COVID. And then having a long day, usually finishing at 6 p.m. in the evening and then coming home, eating. But the day itself, when I'm in hospital, it involves seeing up to 20 patients a day with COVID to A&E, or some of them are already on a ward. As you probably heard now, most hospitals have COVID wards which are designated for COVID patients. So my job over the last few weeks has been doing the ward round on the wards, and then after I finish the ward round in the afternoon, I go to see the patients in A&E. So it's been very, very busy with just COVID patients. That's all.
How do you see the situation now? Is it improving? Has the numbers plateaued, or are we still in that spike as the government has been briefing us on daily basis?
Well, I think we've reached a plateau, but now they are counting the nursing home deaths as well. So I think that's going to increase the number. So 23,000, I think, currently stands. So I think April's been a bad month. Hopefully, it's going to be May tomorrow. So from May onwards, we should see a slow reduction in number of deaths. I think it's been locked down now for 6 weeks, so things are slightly improving. But for us as frontline doctors, the main issue has been PPE and the lack of PPE. So numbers are hopefully decreasing, but the PPE remains an issue at the moment.
Remains an issue, yeah. Well, all I can say is that our prayers are with you, and we wish you well and stay safe. And as a final remark, do you have any kind of advice for aspiring students who are looking to become doctorpreneurs and they want to start their experience in going through that medical school and later on branching out and opening up their own business? We have a mutual friend who is currently going through that, I believe as well, Ravina. But yeah, tell us what would your advice be for them?
My advice would be to start early and don't do what I did, which is start a bit later. I started after medical school, but start in medical school. There's help available. There's Doctorpreneurs.net, I think, website. There's Eureka Doc. There's so many websites. There's Medic Footprints, which can help you with your ambitions to realize if you've got a technology, a app, or anything like that. Start early, join the society. So our university, there's a digital health society, there's AI society. There's so many societies out there which you can join, get some good input from, and never be afraid to dream big. You have to dream big. If you pick an app which can cure cancer or can pick up signs of coronavirus, don't be afraid to start lean, get the advice early, and practice pitching. That's one important thing. So medics, we tend to be very poor at pitching, but we should be good because we practice pitching anyway. We practice pitching to the consultant, to the ward round. So use the techniques used in medicine to practice pitching a product. So the techniques we use are ISMAR, situation, background, assessment, recommendation. SMAR technique, we use that with patients and doctors. So why can't we use that with pitching a product? So get a good pitch, get a good product, start early, don't be afraid to try, and fail. And then on the 10th time, 11th time, you'll succeed. And I think that's the one thing we need to really leave. That's the take-home message. Don't be afraid to fail, because each failure is only a hurdle on the journey of success.
Fantastic stuff. Fantastic stuff. Thank you very much, Dr. Asif. It was an absolute pleasure speaking with you. I'm pretty sure we will have more discussions, or at least I would like to meet up with you actually at one point to discuss your current work. But until then, I wish you well and stay safe. Thank you for listening to today's episode of Another Angle. We hope you found some useful information in today's podcast. Feel free to share it with your loved ones. And please do let us know in the comments which areas or topics you would like us to discuss next. We would love to deliver that right knowledge right to you. Stay safe.